Hey, Stonegate family and peeps. Welcome to another Read Aloud from Mr. Parker. I miss you guys. You know I enjoy reading. I know you enjoy reading. Make a video of you reading and share it. I'd love to see it. I'll be reading Science Verse by John Seiska and Lane Smith. On Wednesday in science class, Mr. Newton says, "You know, if you listen closely enough, you can hear the poetry of science in everything." So I listen closely on Thursday. I start hearing the poetry. In fact, I start hearing everything as a science poem. Mr. Newton has zapped me with a curse of science verse. Evolution. Glory, glory, evolution. Darwin found us a solution. Your mama is that shape, and your knuckles always scrape, 'cause Grandpa was an ape. Water cycle. It's raining, it's pouring. For H2O, it's boring. Precipitation, evaporation, precipitation, evaporation, precipitation, evaporation. Evening, night, and morning. Lovely. I think that I ain't never seen a poem ugly as a spleen. A poem that could make you shiver like 3.5 pounds of liver. A poem to make you lose your lunch, tie your intestines in a bunch. A poem all gray, wet, and swollen like a stomach or a colon. Something like your kidney, lung, pancreas, bladder, even tongue. Why, you're turning green, good buddy. It's just human body study. Twink. Twinkleless, twinkleless, spot of black in the starry zodiac. Sucking in all matter and light, turning sunshine into night. Twinkleless, twinkleless. Lost control. Now we're trapped in the black hole. Dinosaur. Once in first grade, I was napping when I heard a scary yapping. Frightful word, worse than a slapping, worse than 20 T-Rex roars. Said our teacher, heartless creature, "My class, you know, always explores 10 full weeks of dinosaurs." Pterodactyl, stegosaurus, on and on, the same old chorus. Elementary stuff to bore us. No more we beg, she ignores. Yes, she smiles, they were reptiles. Then locks the windows, bolts the doors. Don't you just love dinosaurs? Every year, the scene repeated. Third grade, fourth grade, we were greeted with that torture just completed. Yes, we've heard of carnivores. Still, the teachers changed no features. Still spoke those words that gave brain sores. This year's topic: dinosaurs. It's still a mystery, scientists say, why the dinosaurs went away. But I know why they couldn't stay. And it wasn't meteors. It was creatures, yes, those teachers, who did the work of 50 wars and bored to death dinosaurs. No, we didn't. You know that. Fiction we're reading here. Fiction. Food chain. I've been working in the food chain all the livelong day. In the middle of the food chain, I've got no time to play. Can't you see the green plants growing? That's energy, okay? Consumer eats up the producer. Predator eats prey. Who's for lunch today? Who's for lunch today? Don't you just wonder who's for lunch today? Predator or prey? Predator or prey? Eat or be eaten. That's the only way. Gobble cookie. 'Twas fructose and the vitamins, did zinc and dye red number 8. All poly were the thiamines and the carbohydrate. Beware the gooblegook, my son. Beware the gobblegook, my son. The flavorings, the added C. Beware the serving size and shun the dreaded BHT. And as in Frolic thought I stood, the gobblegook with eyes nitrate came gluten through the dextrose wood. It extracts carbonate. Oh, can you slay the gobblegook? Polyunsaturated boy, 3,000 calories, don't look. The sugar's fats, oh soy. 'Twas fructose and the vitamins, did zinc and dye red number 8. All poly were the thiamines and the carbohydrate. That was a mouthful. Why didn't scientists write nursery rhymes? They're the scientists. Mary had a little worm. She thought it was a chigger. But everything that Mary ate only made it bigger. It came with her to school one day and gave the kids a fright, especially when the teacher said, "Now that's a parasite." That was good. Hey diddle diddle. Hey diddle diddle, what kind of riddle is this nature of light? Sometimes it's a wave, other times particle. But which answer will be marked right? Jack be nimble. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jump over the combustion reaction of O2 plus heat plus fuel from the CO2 plus light plus heat plus exhaust. I think it's better that he jumps over the candlestick. It rhymes at least. Good night. Good night, sleep tight. Don't let the bed bug, tick or louse suck blood from you, hatch its eggs and then develop the larva on you. All right? Yeah, I'm glad they don't write nursery rhymes. Scientific method at the bat. The outlook wasn't brilliant for my experiment that day. The only way to graduate was to come up with an A. So when my lab exploded and turned to blackish gunk, my chance of passing anything went Titanic, sunk. I sat and sadly watched the clock curse to be alive. It would take a miracle, no, make that two, to get me to grade 5. Then I had a brainstorm, an idea so terrific. I just had to use those words from the method scientific. I grab my pen and get to work. You should see my look. I slowly write hypothesis, observation in my book. And now the class bell rings, and now I lose or win. With one mighty plop, I hand my lab book in. Oh, somewhere in science class, hypotheses are made, experiments are conducted, kids move up a grade. Somewhere conclusions are concluded without a bit of doubt. But there is no joy in this lab. My results got me flunked out. Skeletal study. There once was a man of science, not one of your mental giants. He decided to settle the question, does metal fix an electric appliance? Don't try that at all. You're it. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a virus, watch it grow. Once it got you, it won't go. Eeny, meeny, miny, oh no. Social distancing, wash your hands. Minnehaha. Minnehaha. Or the atomic joke's on you. From the shining big sea water to the trees near Gishgami, everything is made of atoms, tiny things that you cannot see. Though I have just one small question, and I don't ask just to blame them. Scientists can't see these things, so how the heck can they name them? Nucleus. They call the center, made of parts that they call protons, and more itty-bitty pieces. Go ahead and call them neutrons. Flavored quarks, electrons, bosons, things could hardly get more doofy. I say we think up our own names, but let's make them way more goofy. Let's call the proton Wawa. Wawa's the wild goose. The electron Mahanomoni, which is wild rice. Call the neutron the Woniona. Will they know these are so teeny? Yes, then let us call the atom something new like Hiawatha. He was the hero in Henry Wadsworth Longfellow poem of 1855. That will be our really small joke. That will be our mini ha-ha. That was dumb. What's the matter? Science verse got me. What's the matter? Miss Lucy had some matter. She didn't know its state. She only had 3 choices. She tried to get it straight. She thought it could be liquid, quite possibly a gas. And if it wasn't solid, well, call me sassafras. Miss Lucy called the plumber. Miss Lucy called the cop. Miss Lucy called the egghead with the perfectly bald top. Liquid called the plumber. Solid called the cop. Gas called the egghead with the perfectly bald top. The senseless lab of Professor Revere. Listen, my children, and you shall hear of how loud noises go in your ear. And look, my youngsters, bright lights will be the way you figure out how you see. And feel, my students, is that too much? With gopher guts, you learn about touch. And chew, my kiddies, oh, what a waste. That frog-eyed stew was for you to taste. And sniff, my scientist, ain't it just swell how 10-year-old cheese demonstrates smell. Oh, those are your senses, class is done. Next week, diseases, won't that be fun? Got a few more. Amoeba. Don't ever tease a wee amoeba by calling him or her amoeba. And don't call her a he amoeba or never he a she amoeba. Because whether his or hers amoeba, Bear wants to read. Because whether his or hers amoeba, they too feel like you and me-ba. Changes. I'm a little mealworm, short and wiggly. Here's my antenna, cute and jiggly. Now I'm a pupa, squat and white. How did this happen? I'm a sight. Now I'm a beetle. What is this? I really hate metamorphosis. "'Twas the night. 'Twas the night before anything, and all through deep space nothing existed, time, matter, or place. No stockings, no chimneys, it was hotter than hot. Everything was compressed in one very dense dot. When out of the nothing there appeared with a clatter a fat guy with reindeer and something the matter. His nose was all runny, he gave a sick hack. Oh dasher, oh dancer, I can't hold it back. He huffled and sniffed and sneezed one achoo. Then like 10 jillion volcanoes, the universe blew. That dense dot exploded, spewing out stars, Earth, Venus, Jupiter, Uranus, and Mars. Helium, hydrogen, the mountains and seas, the chicken, the egg, the birds, and the bees. Yesterday's newspaper, tomorrow's burnt toast, protons and neutrons, your grandma's pork roast. The universe expanded, the guy said with a wheeze, who will ever believe the world started by sneeze? So let's just call it much grander, all right? Merry Big Bang to all, and to all, gazootite. That was kind of... Astronaut stopping by a planet on a snowy evening. Which world this is, I do not know. It's in our solar system, though. I'm thinking that it might be Mars because it has that reddish glow. But if you know, it could be Venus, and if that's true, then just between us, it might be wise to leave before any locals might have seen us. Could be Pluto, might be Neptune. Don't they both have more than one moon? I'm running out of oxygen. I better figure this out soon. Yes, space is lovely, dark, and deep. For one mistake, I now do weep. In science class, I was asleep. In science class, I was asleep. Asleep. It's science class. I'm asleep. Whack goes Mr. Newton's pointer on the blackboard. And that, my scientists, is the solar system. Test tomorrow on the planets. Class dismissed. Awake, I am awake. I'm thinking in regular sentences. I'm not rhyming anymore. I'm cured of my science verse. The universe is beautiful, and life is just great. Until art class, when Mr. Picasso says, don't think of this as a little art project. Your art project must be your whole life. The end. I hope you enjoyed Science Verse. Read to me. I'll check you out. See you around the corner.